All right. AI filmmaking. Um, Everybody's talking about it. You've probably seen some of those crazy AI-generated shorts online. But tonight, we're going deeper.
Yeah, past the hype, behind the scenes.
Exactly. We're looking at the TCL Film Machine Festival, where Hollywood filmmakers actually used AI to make films.
All kinds of genres.
A real glimpse into the future. Whether you're excited or maybe a little scared, this is what's coming.
You gotta know this stuff.
Okay, so first up, Dave Clark.
A pioneer, really.
Yeah, not just talking about AI,
I'm-
actually using it to make his own films.
He even started a company, focused on AI filmmaking tools.
That's commitment.
What's interesting about Clark is he's not some tech guy trying to, turn Hollywood upside down. He's been doing traditional filmmaking forever.
Commercials, documentaries, even features.
The whole deal.
Right. He's coming at this from both sides.
Makes his perspective pretty valuable.
I thought it was really interesting in his keynote how he sees AI as a good thing.
Not evil robots taking our jobs.
Yeah. Kept talking about empowerment.
Giving filmmakers more tools, more freedom.
More opportunities to tell their stories.
Exactly. And not just making more films. He's excited about AI helping, different voices get heard, bringing new perspectives to the screen.
So not just more films, but different films. Films we couldn't even make before.
Exactly. And he told these stories, right, about his own work getting attention from some big names in Hollywood, people he's looked up to his whole career.
Wait, seriously? His idols are calling him because of his AI films?
Yep. Speaks volumes, doesn't it? This isn't a gimmick. People at the top are paying attention.
Okay, color me intrigued. Tell me more about this TCL Film Machine Festival. What actually happened there?
So it's this 12-week program.
Like an accelerator.
Exactly. Designed to, take the mystery out of AI and show what it could do for Hollywood. 5 filmmakers got picked.
And these are established filmmakers, right? Not just some tech-savvy kids messing around.
Oh, absolutely. These are pros. Real credits, experience in all kinds of genres. They really know filmmaking. And they had guidance the whole way.
From pros in the industry, A&D AI experts.
A real team effort, combining human creativity with AI.
Okay, I'm curious, how do they actually UEC the AI? Just for visuals?
Well, that's what's so cool. They used it all over the place. Some generated whole visual sequences. Others mixed AI with live action. Some even used it for sound editing and music.
Really, the whole gamut. And they did all that in just 12 weeks. That's crazy fast compared to traditional filmmaking.
Yeah, that speed is something people are really excited about. That ability to experiment and see your ideas come to life so quickly.
Total game changer.
It is.
All right, let's talk about the filmmakers themselves. What was it like working with AI, and what did their films tell us about what AI can do?
Well, each one had their own approach, but there were some common threads.
Okay, cool. Let's start with Kurt Yaeger. He made a docufiction film, which is kind of a cool hybrid genre.
Yeah, he was really interested in how AI could bring out emotion, tell human stories, authentically. He wanted to go deeper than just the tech stuff.
He has a disability, right?
He does. And that definitely influenced his work. He challenged how we usually see disabilities on film. His protagonist's worst day was actually the start of something positive.
Interesting.
And he talked about the AI actually surprising him, the imagery it created. It was almost like a creative partner.
So he wasn't just using AI to execute his vision, but letting it contribute to the creative process in ways he didn't expect.
Exactly.
I like that. Okay, who's next?
Next up, we have Kellita Smith. She did animation.
Oh, cool. For her directorial debut.
Yeah, first time directing.
I don't think I've thought much about AI and animation together. What made her go that route?
She was really into the freedom that AI gave her visually. She could experiment with different styles, bring her ideas to life in ways that, traditional animation just couldn't.
Yeah, that makes sense. And didn't she have a kind of unique way of using the AI, something with music?
Oh, yeah. Instead of starting with a script or anything, she used music. Fed different pieces of music into the AI and let it create visuals based on that. The mood, the rhythm.
So the AI was basically interpreting the music visually.
Exactly. It was like the AI became this visual instrument, translating the music into moving pictures.
Wow. That opens up some crazy possibilities for animation, doesn't it?
It totally does. And Smith was excited about that. How AI could make animation more accessible to people who don't have, huge studio budgets.
Yeah, democratizing it.
Absolutely.
Like that. Okay, so we've got one filmmaker exploring the emotional side of AI, another one pushing the boundaries of animation. Who else stood out to you?
Well, we can't talk about AI filmmaking without mentioning George Huang.
Huang. He had a background in sound editing, right?
Yeah, that's him. He was initially interested in using AI to, like, fix bad dialogue.
Right. He used it to save some dialogue on one of his feature films, didn't he?
Yep. But that got him thinking about the bigger picture, how AI could be used for visual storytelling, too. And he was really impressed by how fast it all was.
But he did say he hit some roadblocks, right?
He did. Certain things are still tricky for AI, like facial expressions or really complex camera moves. It's not perfect. There are limits, especially when you're trying to capture those little nuances of human actors.
So it's not as simple as just typing in some prompts and getting a perfect film back.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of human skill needed to make it all work.
For sure. And that's why the collaboration is so important. It's not AI replacing people. It's people and AI working together.
I'm hearing that a lot, that partnership idea.
It's a big theme. Paul Johansson, another filmmaker at the festival, talked about it too.
Johansson, wasn't he the guy with a ton of experience directing fantasy films?
That's him. He directed a bunch of big movies.
Yeah.
And he was skeptical about AI at first. Thought it was just a fad, you know?
But I'm guessing that changed after he did this program.
Oh, yeah. He was blown away by how well AI could help teams work together, especially teams all over the world. His film needed a ton of visual effects, and the AI just, like, seamlessly brought all those artists' work together, like having a giant virtual studio.
That's wild. And him going from skeptic to believer, that says something. It shows that even people who are hesitant about AI come around when they actually use it.
Totally. And Johansson wasn't just excited about the creative side either. He also brought up how important it is to include, Hollywood unions in all this.
Right. Thinking about how AI will affect jobs and working conditions. Can't just ignore that part.
Exactly. Got to make sure everyone benefits.
I agree.
So that brings us to Chen Tang, the last filmmaker we'll be talking about.
Okay.
He was going for, like, total photorealism with his film, really pushing the limits of what AI can do visually.
Photorealism. So like
Right.
AI visuals that are impossible to tell apart from real life. That's ambitious.
It was, and it came with some challenges. He said even basic stuff, the way fabric looks or how light hits a glass of water, the AI struggled to get it perfect.
It's almost like the closer you get to reality, the harder it is to nail those tiny details.
Yeah. Did he get to that level of photorealism he wanted?
I'm curious.
He made a lot of progress. But he admitted true photorealism is still, down the road a bit. AI is getting closer, but it still misses some of those subtle things.
Makes sense. But his struggles are actually kind of insightful.
How so?
Well, it shows us that AI filmmaking is still a work in progress. We're figuring it out as we go. There are going to be bumps in the road.
For sure.
Okay, so we've heard from these 5 filmmakers, each with their own take on AI. What are the big takeaways? What did we learn?
Well, one thing is AI isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's adaptable. You can use it for all kinds of filmmaking.
Yeah, we saw that at the festival, right? Docufiction, animation, fantasy, each using AI in its own way.
Exactly. And another big thing, AI filmmaking is all about collaboration. It's not about replacing humans. It's about humans and AI working together. The best AI films find that balance,
Seems like everyone we talked about agreed on that, the importance of human input, that artistic vision guiding the AI.
Definitely. And they also talked about how important it is to experiment, to be open to new ways of working. AI filmmaking is still young. There's so much to discover. The people who succeed will be the ones who are willing to adapt and learn and push those boundaries.
So it's not just about knowing the tech, but using it to tell your story in a new way.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so exciting. It's a whole new era for filmmaking, and the people who are brave enough to jump in are the ones who will shape what comes next.
It feels like we've only scratched the surface, honestly. AI and film, there's so much to talk about.
It's moving so fast, but even now we see it's not just about the creative side, but the business side too.
Okay, yeah. What's AI doing to the business of making movies?
Well, one thing is saving money. AI can automate stuff, make things more efficient. You might not need such big crews. All that adds up to smaller budgets.
That's got to be music to the ears of indie filmmakers. Opens up more possibilities for them.
Definitely. Could really change things, More experimentation, more voices being heard.
Makes the whole industry more interesting.
Yeah.
What about the big studios, though? Are they on board, or are they, resisting change?
It's a mix, to be honest. Some are all in on AI, research development, figuring out how to use it in their current systems.
Makes sense.
But others are more cautious, waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, Hollywood doesn't always love change. It's a risky business.
That's true. But it's hard to ignore what AI can do. Faster, cheaper, those amazing visuals. Studios notice that.
And as more filmmakers show what's possible with AI, I think more studios will jump in.
It's not a question of if, but one day or when, really? And it goes beyond just studios. AI can help individual creators too, right?
Oh, right. Imagine anyone, anywhere, being able to make their film visually.
That's the dream. A whole new generation of filmmakers all over the world, and new kinds of stories.
New genres, new ways to use visuals, new ways to connect with the audience. It's exciting, but also kind of scary, right? Not knowing what's next.
That's technology for you. Always shaking things up, makes us question everything.
And with AI filmmaking, that's not a bad thing.
Not at all. It pushes us to be more creative, to come up with new ideas.
So what should our listeners be thinking about as they try to figure out this new world of AI filmmaking?
Be curious. That's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to experiment, try things out, see what you can do.
Don't be afraid to mess up either.
Exactly. You'll learn more from your mistakes than anything else. And AI is just a tool, remember that?
Right.
It doesn't replace human creativity. It helps you take it further. The filmmakers who get it, they'll be the ones who combine that tech with their own vision.
It's a partnership.
Exactly. And a responsible one. Like we talked about, got to be ethical, got to make sure AI is used for good for both film and for society.
Okay, so to wrap up this deep dive, we've looked at what AI can do, the good and the bad. Hopefully, people are feeling inspired.
A lot to think about.
But before we go, one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
People are probably wondering, how do I actually start using AI for filmmaking?
That's a good question. And it's easier than you think. Just start exploring.
Exploring? But where? There's so much information out there. It's overwhelming.
I know, it can be a lot. But there are tons of resources to help you. Online courses, tutorials, communities, even free AI tools you can play around with.
So you don't need a fancy degree or expensive software.
Nope. Just the desire to learn and try new things. And don't be afraid to fail. That's how you learn. The point is to have fun and see where it takes you.
Great advice. So to all our listeners, if you're curious about AI filmmaking, just dive in.
And remember, you're not alone. There's a whole community of people who are excited about this, ready to help each other.
Yeah, it's important.
Collaborate, ask questions, share what you learn.
And maybe you'll be the one who discovers the next big thing in AI filmmaking. Or tells a story that changes the world.
That's what makes it so exciting.
It does. Okay, I think that's a wrap on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep creating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in film. The future is yours to make.